What if the most powerful thing you could do for yourself right now had nothing to do with the person who hurt you? What if letting go wasn't weakness, but the most strategic, the most deliberate, the most selfish thing you could do for your own life? Stay with me, because what I'm about to share changed everything for me. In my last video, I shared something deeply personal, the breakup that almost broke me completely. But there's a part of that story I didn't finish, because surviving the pain was one thing. What came after was harder. For weeks, almost a month, I carried something heavy inside me. Not grief, not sadness, something sharper than that. Anger. The kind of anger that wakes you up at 3 a.m. replaying conversations. The kind that makes you rehearse what you should have said. The kind that quietly poisons every new moment because the past keeps bleeding into it. I was angry at her. I was angry at the situation. And if I'm honest, I was angry at myself for loving someone who could walk away so easily. Maybe you know that feeling. Maybe you're carrying something like that right now. A betrayal, a loss, a person who hurt you and never once said sorry. Here's what I know now that I didn't know then. That anger wasn't hurting her. She had moved on. She wasn't losing sleep. She wasn't replaying anything. The only person that anger was destroying was me. The moment things shifted was quieter than I expected. There was no dramatic revelation, no conversation, no closure. Just a moment, alone, where I finally allowed myself to see things clearly. What we had was real. What we shared mattered. And then it ended, not because I was worthless, not because I was unlovable, but because life happened. And that was the thought that changed everything. This wasn't peculiar to me. Heartbreak happens to everyone. Loss happens to everyone. Disappointment, betrayal, being left behind, these are not punishments. They are part of being human. The moment I accepted that, truly accepted it, the grip loosened, and I made a decision, not for her, for me. I chose to forgive. Before I tell you what forgiveness did for me, I need to tell you what forgiveness is not. Forgiveness is not saying what happened was okay, it wasn't okay. Forgiveness is not forgetting. You don't have to forget. Forgiveness is not reconciliation. You don't have to let that person back into your life. And forgiveness is not weakness. It is one of the hardest, most deliberate acts a human being can perform. Forgiveness is simply this: the decision to stop letting someone who hurt you continue to live rent-free in your mind. That's it. It is an act of radical self-interest. You forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, put it simply, the best revenge is to be unlike the person who hurt you. Not to suffer, not to stay bitter, but to become better. That is the revenge worth having. When I finally forgave, truly forgave, not just said the words, something physical happened. It felt like a weight lifting off my chest. I don't know how else to describe it. Something I had been carrying for weeks, quietly exhausting me, was just gone. And what came in its place surprised me. Not happiness exactly, something quieter than that. Peace. I could be present again. I could enjoy a moment without the past pulling at the edges of it. I could think about the future without it feeling like a threat. I started reading more, thinking more clearly, investing in myself in ways I never had before, and I realized something profound. The breakup that almost destroyed me had become the exact thing that built the strongest version of me. But none of that was possible while I was holding on to the anger. The forgiveness had to come first. So how do you actually do it? Especially when the person never apologized. Especially when what they did was genuinely wrong. especially when part of you feels like letting go means letting them win. Here are the 3 things that worked for me. First, accept reality as it is, not as you wish it were. What happened, happened. Fighting that reality costs you more energy than the situation deserves. Make peace with the fact that it is done. Second, separate the person from the pain. The anger you feel is real, but the person who caused it does not need to live inside your head forever. Feel the pain, then choose to put it down. Third, redirect the energy inward. Every hour you spend replaying what they did is an hour you could spend building what comes next. Forgiveness frees up that energy and gives it back to you. You will not do this perfectly. Some days the anger will come back. That is normal. Forgiveness is not a single moment. It is a daily decision, until one day you realize you haven't thought about it in weeks. That is how you know it worked. I want to leave you with this. Somewhere in your life right now, there is probably someone you haven't forgiven. Maybe it's a person, maybe it's a situation, maybe, if you're really honest, it's yourself. And every day you hold on to that is a day you give away to something that is already over. You deserve better than that, not because life is easy, not because what happened didn't hurt, but because you are still here, still moving, still capable of more than whatever tried to stop you. Forgiveness isn't the end of the story, it's where the real story begins. If this resonated with you today, leave a comment below. Tell me what you're working on letting go of. I read every single one. And if you haven't watched episode 1 yet, where I share the full story of how I hit rock bottom and rebuilt in 30 days, the link is right here. This is Thornless Life. Practical wisdom for a lighter, calmer life. I'll see you in the next one.